Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our final session of the day of the CLI Outma Innovation and Legal Tech Week. I'm glad everyone can join us for the Lander and Rogers virtual tour of the Lander and Rogers LawTech Hub in Melbourne. So I'll just hand straight over to Stephen and we can get started with this afternoon's session. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Fiona. It has been a long day, so thanks for everyone that's actually taken the time to participate and tune in. We're all really glad to have you here for our virtual tour. So today we'll be covering off kind of a little bit about who Lander Rogers, Farley, and YBF and who they represent. Sam Flynn is with us from Josef to talk about their experience, and then talk to you a little bit about the LawTech Hub, a little bit about the program, how it works, and a little bit of, get some feedback from Sam on how his experience was, as well as a tour of the physical space. So I'll have each of the speakers kind of introduce themselves. So I'll pass it over to Sarah just to talk about Lander and Rogers.
Hi there, my name's Sarah Mark and I'm the Client Services Marketing Manager at Lander and Rogers. And I just wanted to touch on what Lander and Rogers is as a firm and provide some more information. So we're an independent Australian firm and we have offices across the eastern seaboard of Australia. Our firm is global in our approach, but we work closely with international firms that don't have an Australian presence, and we are the exclusive Australian member of the International Referral Network, Terralex. Our firm comprises over 500 people, which includes 76 partners, and we advise across the whole gamut of corporate, government, not-for-profit, family law, real estate, corporate, workplace relations, and digital and technology. So in terms of what's really important to us at Landers, we pride ourselves on providing practical commercial advice. And in addition to that, the key differentiator is our drive to providing an exceptional client experience for our clients. And that's where the importance of legal tech comes into play. We're also strongly committed to pro bono and community work and supporting our environment. So that's a little bit about Lander and Rogers. And now I'll pass over to Farley to have a chat about YBF.
Thanks, Sarah. I'm Farley Blackman. I'm the CEO of YBF. I'm in Sydney right now, actually, but we have offices in both Sydney and Melbourne. YBF is an innovation hub. So we have the goal of helping startups and scale-ups to succeed, of helping corporates to innovate, and generally helping the ecosystem here in Australia and the Asia Pacific region to thrive. So our goal is to combine space and programs and innovation and talent all together into a tidy package so that tech and innovation in general exceeds and expands throughout the region. And I think we'll have an opportunity to talk more about that later through the hour.
And maybe over to Sam for a quick introduction. You'll be hearing a lot more from him a little bit later in the hour.
Not too much, I hope. Hi, everyone. My name is Sam Flynn. I am COO and co-founder of Josef. As Stephen said, I'll tell you a little bit more about what we do in a minute. But I look forward to speaking to you shortly.
Thanks, Sam. And so next up, we just wanted to touch on legal tech more broadly and why it's so important to our firm, our people, our clients, and the broader legal tech community. So legal tech is key to the future of the legal industry, which has obviously been magnified by COVID. And as organisations shift to accommodate the global pandemic, and law firms have been modifying the ways that they're working, meeting with clients, and how their staff are connecting as an organisation, the need for innovation in legal tech, in the legal tech space, has been more important than ever. And so the industry and our clients, there's a growing demand for digitisation and automation tools to ensure that we can improve that service delivery to our clients. And so we know that through legal tech, it plays such a crucial role in providing an exceptional experience for our client through making their lives easier, being able to work more efficiently through the use of smart technology. And in addition to our clients, it's really important for our people. With the use of legal tech and digitisation, it really improves work satisfaction by removing the unnecessary processes and admin. Our people are able to focus on the more rewarding aspects of their role, which is providing practical and commercial advice to our clients. Stephen, did you have anything wanted to add?
You said it all.
Said it all. So next up, we were just going to touch on more broadly what the LawTech Hub is and what is involved in the program.
Yeah, so what is the LawTech Hub, right? As Farley's kind of mentioned, he's in Sydney. There's 2 physical locations. We started off the LawTech Hub about 2 years ago. This is Australia's first legal tech kind of dedicated hub. 2 years ago in Melbourne at our YBF offices there, in partnership with YBF, of course. And then about last year, we started another physical hub in Sydney, where Farley is stationed at the moment. I guess, and with all the changes in the last year, we've moved this hub not just primarily to just physical spaces, but we've moved it online with like everything else. And so we run virtual cohorts where we accept rounds of startups and scale-ups as part of this LawTech Hub, and with the aim of really achieving like growing an ecosystem of legal tech startups. I think one of our chief executive partner, Genevieve, had kind of noticed a gap in the marketplace. So there's all these great emerging ideas that are related or directly in the legal space, but there was no place where there's no nexus point that everything kind of accumulates together and stays together. And I guess our stake, as Lander Rogers tried to do, is put that stake in the sand and said, this is a great place we could use for congregation, you know, and then to really achieve a lot of the things that kind of Sarah mentioned earlier, right? Great good ideas related to tech, related to law, and then give them a place to live and hopefully grow that ecosystem. So what that means is some, if needed, there's dedicated space both in Sydney and Melbourne, and we'll take you through a virtual tour of our Melbourne space a little bit later in this video. Provide legal support, so not just, I guess, legal support, but really business support on with a startup, right? So there's advice on how to make sure your company is on the right foundation, how to grow it, how to scale it, how to make it work, right? So there's great amounts of support and mentors and guidance for you there. There's the industry ecosystem. We partner up with many of the universities around, both in Sydney and in Melbourne, and we have deep connections with other partners that provide other services such as accounting and insurance and other things that we kind of bring together as part of that hub. Pitching opportunities. So when you have something good and you need to get into the right people, we're not the only clients, or we're not the only customers of legal tech. Our clients are really, really keen and trying to understand what you do and what our hub members do, and how they can actually be a benefit or be a value to them. I think one of the things that really distinguishes us from traditional hubs, accelerators, and maybe I'll ask Farley a little bit later to talk about a little bit more about the definition of what those things are, but we don't take any equity into each of the startups, right? So there's, we don't look to hinder the growth of your company by trying to take a stake of it. And it's really kind of our promise to grow the community and really empower you guys to, contribute. You get real feedback. So if we are the ones that are like working through a pilot with you, we kind of look at what the features are, how our lawyers use it, or how our clients use it, and look at how we can help you improve that product or service for the marketplace, right? So I think I'll ask Sam a little bit later down the road on some of the things that have evolved on the Josef platform as a result of annoying people like me who test it and ask why and ask what else is coming down the pipeline. So in a nutshell, that's a little bit about the LawTech Hub. I'll tee up Christine to actually get the video ready, where we can kind of show a little bit more from our residents on their experience.
The thing I've learned now about a startup is it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And without that support, you're not going to finish.
My name is Elisa. I'm the founder of Paycheck.
I'm Sam Loveridge, and I'm the co-founder of LegalTech Hub.
And being a new resident of the Lander Rogers and YBF Ventures LawTech Hub, there's been a lot going on in Lara.
We're hoping to work with as many partners and as many mentors as possible to make sure that our app can be the most comprehensive and really cover everyone's needs as best as possible.
We were really excited to be given the opportunity to join the Lander and Rogers LawTech Hub. They are an award-winning firm for workplace culture, and that aligned with us strategically at Elka.
I was working with Landers and Rogers a little bit. Beforehand, we started chatting. I learned on how much or how well they're doing this already with their network and how well they're managing their referrals and their relationships globally. They are a national firm, right? But they have a global reach.
It's especially interesting to me to be involved with people in the legal industry who understand the problems that the industry is facing, but also having the appetite for risk to change those problems in a different way. I think there's a lot of value in surrounding yourself with people like that.
We were naturally speaking to law firms about this technology quite some time back, and we came across Landers and Rogers through YBF. And so we were talking to them about this technology and how it could assist them, and they were of course very interested. And then they mentioned, hey, we have this LawTech Hub. And so we thought, wow, that's great. We could join this LawTech Hub, work with Lander and Rogers more closely, and also interact with other companies and individuals in the law tech space. And we saw it as a great chance to really help develop this technology in this environment.
They also provide really strategic and simple and intelligent legal advice. And they've given us access to a great network of all kinds of resources, things like accounting, marketing, insurance, and also the network of peers and other founders that are part of the program.
I think it's a really exciting time to be a part of sort of the legal tech space at the moment. You're finding now more and more really smart people trying to solve really difficult problems and creating really valuable companies in legal tech.
The LawTech Hub is an amazing opportunity. We love that Lander and Rogers are fostering that collaboration between legal professionals and the tech entrepreneurs. We're also excited to be working closely alongside Lander and Rogers, who are a leading national family law firm, to enhance family property with the feedback we get from them, and also to scale up the business.
I think the thing that attracted us to LawTech Hub was the fact that there is this really strong emerging community of legal technology companies in Australia. We're fortunate to have been around for a couple of years, and so we can lead that community. So we wanted to join the hub because we saw an opportunity to position ourselves at the forefront of something that is changing the way that law is practiced.
It's a rapidly evolving market, and on the other end of it, you're seeing law firms which are more traditionally risk averse start to embrace technology. And so what really attracted us to be part of LawTech Hub is to be a part of a community like that. And it's great to see Lander and Rogers really champion it and be at the forefront of it all.
We're really fortunate that the hub is being supported by Lander and Rogers. I think that for us, the opportunity to be in a space knowing that it's got the backing of a significant and established law firm is a mark that the industry is taking this seriously. That they recognize that the future of legal services is technology driven. And to the extent that, we can be a part of that, that we can lead that, we're excited to be here.
We hope to learn a lot from them on the way and how they do it, because this is exactly kind of the firms we want to empower to stand up to much, much bigger ones.
Hello, I'm Jane Hume. I'm the Assistant Minister for Financial Services, Superannuation and Financial Technology. We know that the last few months have been a really challenging time for the startup community in Australia, and that's what makes it even more exciting to see these 9 great new companies pushing through and entering the LawTech Hub today. Innovation hubs like YBF have been vital to building the success of our tech sector, and not just across law tech, but also regtech and fintech, which are ecosystems that are intricately linked to one another. Australia, I believe, does lead the world in idea creation, but we have a lot of work to do when it comes to collaboration and commercialisation and bringing your incredible ideas to market. The LawTech Hub is at the centre of that work, bringing together unique expertise to help you collaborate and grow using your mentors and partners like Lander and Rogers. It's also a pertinent time, I think, to be focusing on the law tech sector, especially as the COVID lockdown has driven all of us to find new and innovative ways to digitise products and services right across the economy. It's really important that our innovation hubs remain strong as we emerge from this pandemic. And I wish you all the best for your journey and for the year ahead.
We're all being impacted by disruption and change. I teach law students who are going to actually work in that new world that is evolving now. Landers has chosen not to look inwards, but to look outwards.
Compassionate, engaged people in the law are melding with really smart, excited people in the tech industry. I'm going to officially say, this is open.
Tonight is an important part of Lander's response. The creation of Australia's first dedicated LawTech Hub.
Oh, we didn't even get to finish the music. So if that excites you, let's talk a little bit about what it means to be in the LawTech Hub. I'll have Sam, of course, share his experience a little bit later. But I guess from start to finish, like where do we start? We look for the best applicants, of course. We look for the best applicants around, not just within Australia. And because the program's virtual now, we're looking internationally as well. You can apply through our landers.com.au website, where I think somebody will be sharing a link on where you can actually find a little bit more information on the application process. We get a varying range of applications, and I guess we aren't qualifying a certain stage or a certain mass of where you're at. I guess we're looking for just really good ideas against a few of our criteria that's kind of listed on that website. But it needs to solve a real legal challenge. I think it needs to be something that we can actually help, and there's mutual benefit from participating in this LawTech Hub. And then once that's through, then we kind of get you in and if you need, seated at YBF or participating with us as part of the program. We kick the program off by just kind of getting you to meet everyone, as well as some of our clients, some of our team members, some of our internal lawyers, and we pair you up with one of those internal sponsors. So we know that you're geared for success, and there's accountability from us to you and you to them. We sit down with you, and no program is the same, I'd say, because we sit down with you and we start to formulate a wish list session on what it is that you actually want out of the next 6 months. And if I haven't mentioned that earlier, the program is 6 months long. So formulate what that 6 months looks like and what your goals and aspirations that you want to achieve in that 6 month, in the 1 year mark, just so we know how and where to help. And we kind of iterate that as throughout the next couple of months. Now, based on that, so it's hard to say, depending on who you are or what your needs are, we either get you in front of the right people, demonstrate or understand the programs or the products that you're offering a little bit more, and work through it with the views of some of our users, some of our lawyers, some of our clients, to actually see and test and play and feel and really check that it is something that we want. So we're not check that's something that we want, but really prove its market scalability in what we do. Alongside that, there's a bunch of education sessions. There's, if you need to know a little bit more about patents, IP, insurance for your product, flipping up and going out to a different country. These are kind of the bespoke pieces of advice that will kind of tailor for your specific journey on that. And then just like that, in a flash, 6 months quickly goes, and we're next day, you know, we're kind of celebrating and wishing you, you know, good luck on what we've done together. Some of our startups, such as Sam and Josef, have spent extended durations with us because we felt we weren't just ready in one of those 6 month terms. And we make a call near to the end of that because I think there's more potential there, and we don't hold it just to a fixed time period, right? So that's, in essence, a little bit of what that kind of looks like start to finish. Sarah, did I miss anything?
I just wanted to focus a little bit more on the fact that we run a mentor program as part of the LawTech Hub program. And that's really exciting because we bring in industry leading legal tech companies, including the Dockyard, Checkbox, Interactive Accounting, Pursuit, and YBF. And these mentors, they run group sessions with all of the startups, and they also provide one-on-one catch-ups with residents to mentor and provide invaluable support and guidance, practical advice, plus all important networking opportunities. So that's a really key part of the program in terms of extending their reach beyond Landers. And as Stephen touched on, in addition to the mentor program, we also have a partner program, and this taps into the likes of Aperion Law, FB Rice, Marsh, and William Buck. And these partners bring a broad range of expertise from legal, IP, insurance, and accounting. And they too also provide these one-on-one guidance sessions and group workshops to really assist the startups to establish strong and healthy business foundations to ensure that they're really focusing their attention and resources across the right areas. So that's another key component. And Stephen also touched on the pilots, which through our internal sponsors within Landers, it's a really fundamental part of the program because these startups get to roll out their legal tech into the firm, and they get that direct feedback from our business units and lawyers who ultimately will be using these products once they enter the market. So they get that trial run and that ability to get that feedback direct from lawyers, which I think it has played a large part in that development process of their products. So that was the last little bit I wanted to add there.
And we've been purposely leaving a little bit of the YBF benefits and perks and the culture that you get from there. So I'll kind of pass it over to Farley just to talk about what you get as part of being part of YBF.
Yeah, thanks, Stephen and Sarah. As I said earlier, YBF is an innovation hub, or actually a few innovation hubs in Sydney and in Melbourne. We really bring startups, scale-ups, and corporates together, and we curate that ecosystem. We strongly believe that startups and scale-ups need to grow, and they need to scale, and they need customers, and they need capital. And corporates need to innovate. They need to look at tech that could be a disruptor to their business, and we help them turn that disruptor into an enabler. And that's what it's all about. YBF is tech agnostic. We are tech focused, but we look at everything from retail tech to fintech to legal tech to reg tech, ag tech, and so on. And we have various hubs with various partners like Lander and Rogers in those other hubs. You know, the Lander and Rogers and YBF partnership is a strong one, as Stephen talked about the process of going through that. That is really a lockstep process with both YBF and Landers. Landers obviously bringing the deep subject matter expertise around legal, and obviously the strong leadership that the whole company has, which really matches the values that we have at YBF, which is what's made this partnership flourish as long as it has, and as long as it will continue. You know, YBF, the team is diverse. We come from 5 different countries and speak 8 different languages, or actually it's the other way around. We speak 5 different languages from 8 different countries. And we have gender parity as far as diversity. So we, as I said before, the Lander and Rogers values and the YBF values are very much aligned. And I think that's what makes it special. In a pre-COVID world, YBF had, you know, 40,000 to 50,000 people walk through the doors on an annual basis. That's a lot of folks that are attending our 400 events and interacting with 100 companies that call YBF home. Obviously, as COVID has hit and had an impact in 2020 and continues in 2021, we've had to take a look at things and make them virtual as well as on-site where possible. And I think it's that hybrid of virtual and on-site and in-person and Zoom that makes it all work. What's great about the virtualization of what we're doing with Landers is that we can focus not only on Sydney and Melbourne, and not only on companies and entrepreneurs that need to be physically present in our site, but actually those that are, you know, quite honestly global, and can make a big difference to what Lander and Rogers does and what legal tech can bring to legal companies and their clients.
Hey, Farley, we had this question quite a bit yesterday, but maybe I'll ask you, what's the difference between like a incubator, accelerator, and perhaps the hubs that you have at YBF?
Yeah, I think there's 2 main differences. And one of them you really mentioned, which is taking an equity position. Most incubators and most accelerators, not all of them, but the vast majority of them take a position in companies. And, you know, the challenge is when things go really, really well and the incubator and accelerator really, really work and everything's firing on all cylinders, then, you know, the 5 or 8% that a founder or a founding team gave up may actually be beneficial. But in a number of cases, you know, it's too early to value companies, and it's too early for founders to give up percentages. So, you know, YBF has had the value of not taking interest in companies that come into our space purposefully. And we do programs and have hubs like we have with Lander and Rogers. We specifically don't. I think that's one difference. I think the bigger difference actually is around longevity and maturity. So incubators and accelerators tend to be finite in length. They tend to be, let's call it 3 months. It could be 4 months. It could be a little bit longer. But you come in, you learn some really great things, you meet some really great people, and you go through a process that helps you either incubate your company early on or accelerate the company's journey. At YBF, and the reason we have spaces in Melbourne and Sydney, and we will continue to grow those spaces, is that we believe that startups and scale-ups need an anchor. They need a place to come. They need to have an ecosystem that surrounds them not only for a finite period of time, but for a longer time. In Melbourne, as an example, we have individuals that, you know, are just working through an idea, and we have unicorns, which is $1 billion or or more valuation companies. So very large international unicorns that call YBF home. So it's that, you know, scale up, startup, entrepreneurial drive that, you know, builds on itself and helps folks along the whole journey, not just 3 months of it.
Great. Thanks, Farley, for that. And I'll see if Sam, knock on his door, is available for us.
I'm here.
So we're talking about unicorns, and we want to see when you're going to be the next one.
Any day now.
Tell us a little bit about, like, well, for the audience, what Josef is and what you guys do.
Sure, thanks, Stephen. So Josef is what is called a legal automation platform. So we license the product to firms like Lander and Rogers to allow them to automate parts of their day-to-day work. We're also a legal tech startup. So we're based in Melbourne. We were founded a few years ago now. Started out, you know, with a group of friends trying to solve a problem, as startups often do, to now where we operate globally, so across North America, Asia Pac, and Europe. We work with Lander and Rogers, as I said, with global firms like Clifford Chance, in-house teams, so corporate counsel as well, with teams at companies like L'Oreal and Randstad, and community legal organizations and government as well. I suppose the point of difference or point of interest with Josef as an automation platform is where an automation workbench for everyone within the legal profession to use. So at Landers, we have lots and lots of different builders across the firm, ranging from, you know, senior associates and partners through to assistants, you know, paralegals, etc. Stephen's built a number of pretty cool bots on the platform as well. Yeah, I think that's it.
I remember our last conversation where we were talking about Josef's designer bot building program, and I noticed a few of our partners had actually enrolled. So they're actually using this platform too. I was astonished, and I couldn't believe they were going through that program.
Yeah, it's really cool to see and kind of unexpected when we think about the traditional partner.
So you had the privilege of being one of our first cohort members. Tell us about the experience. Why did you decide to, I guess, apply? And then for maybe some of those who are interested, maybe like the difference between you actually went through an accelerator program and what we did here.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we did. We went through an accelerator program called StartMate, which is frequently cited or known as Australia's premier accelerator. It is, I suppose, the key difference between that and the LawTech Hub, adding on to, you know, what Farley was saying earlier, is it's sort of taught us how to be a tech company and how to be a startup. So my background was as a lawyer. I was a commercial litigation lawyer, did an associateship at the Supreme Court, all of those kinds of things. And so we had a really specific question that we had to answer by going to StartMate, and that was, how do I run a tech company? The question that we wanted to answer by coming into the LawTech Hub was very different. It was, you know, we know how to run a tech company. We know that we're solving this problem and we're like a hot new thing, but how do we really seriously and maturely begin to address this problem and begin to scale the company? And I think that's exactly why we applied, and that's in large part what we found and what we came out of it with as well.
So tell the audience I'm not just making up the activities that we listed out earlier in the program, and like, what was your experience? What did you do with us?
He's not making up the activities, I promise. No, like so many, I suppose, really valuable and exciting and interesting things came out of the LawTech Hub. We stayed did we stay for 3 rounds? I kind of remember 2. I can't, anyway. We overstayed our welcome, I'm sure. But both from YBF and from Landers through the program, we got so much value. There were, as someone said in the video, there was like literally legal advice on these really curly questions that we had. We did some work with the privacy team on our expansion into Europe through the GDPR, for example. Through YBF, we did some, learn how to do some video editing when we were producing videos for like our support center, our help center with the amazing Joe. Like there's just sort of stuff happening all the time. I think though, one of the coolest things that I heard at the beginning, and that proved to be true from Simon, so from one of the partners at Landers, was, you know, it's kind of opt-in, right? Like all these cool things are happening. We're not going to impose ourselves on you. We know you've got a company to run, but this stuff is on offer as and when you need it. And that really proved true, which is important because accelerators and incubators and LawTech hubs, if they're not done well, can be super distracting as a founder. The other thing I think to call out, in addition to all those activities, I think the most meaningful part for me was like the partnership that we established with Landers. You know, you not only gave us feedback on the platform, you know, as you were saying earlier, Stephen, like the annoying person, you were never annoying, but the feedback we got from Landers is amazing, and I can see right now in my mind like so many different parts of the platform that were informed by your feedback. But more than that, like we partnered on programs, right? Like we ran clerkship programs and like taught the Landers clerks how to build bots. And we ran the designer and builder program quite recently with people across the firm, including partners who built bots, collaborating at Monash through Bottle. And, you know, not to mention the fact that the firm is actually building these really exciting and innovative bots on the platform for clients and others. So I think that part was one of the most valuable parts, that we got to get this sort of intimate insight into how law firms work, how they use tech, and how they buy tech as well.
So I'm thinking about a few of the startups, maybe rewind to where you were 2 years ago and they're just starting out. Like what's out there to support the legal technology community? Like what resources are available to help them? And do you think there's enough being done around to actually help you or in the market?
Yeah, interesting. I guess, I mean, look, there's certainly a lot of stuff out there about legal tech and resources in terms of, you know, an ecosystem and the center of the ecosystem, like the LawTech Hub. There's nothing that we know of in this region, at least. The best place for information in this space, or like getting across the space itself, I think in this region, is CLI as well. That's not a plug. They do awesome work, and so much of their resources is really valuable. They interview amazing people and put it all out there for free. So definitely check that out. I think though, coming back to the point, the best thing that a startup can do in 2 years ago in its early phases is real and meaningful interactions with their customers. So whether that's a law firm or corporate counsel or government or whoever, try and find people who can help you meaningfully answer the question, am I solving a real problem, and am I solving it in a meaningful way? And that is, like, if we're going to talk about, people doing more for startups in the legal tech space, I think if the professional legal professionals more broadly can do more of what is being done through the LawTech Hub, that is exactly what the legal tech sector needs. They need that meaningful engagement rather than that more traditional kind of vendor purchaser relationship. I think that's really outdated. And I still see that attitude sometimes from legal professionals. And it's just not how the best players and the most innovative players are approaching this question or this relationship anymore. And I think that should definitely be left behind.
And Sam, that sort of feeds into a question I had for you in terms of if you could give 2 pieces of advice to up and coming legal tech startups out there trying to find their way amongst all of this, what would that be?
Golly, good question. I mean, like, I suppose going back to that idea of finding customers and people you can talk to validate your problem. I think, as well, as trite as it sounds, you want to validate your problem, but you're gonna get knocked back a lot. And so make sure you picked a problem and a solution that gets you out of bed in the morning, that gets you excited, that gets you passionate, that makes you go red in the face from time to time, because like there's going to be really tough moments. I think like bringing it back to, you know, what we're talking about today, not as a shameless plug, but as like a meaningful statement, find the people and the places and the resources and the institutions that are going to help you along the way as well. Like get good at identifying those opportunities.
Great, thank you. So I think what we'll do is now give you a little tour of YBF Melbourne with a virtual video tour that we've put together to give you more of an understanding of the space.
Trying to read some of the comments at the same time, and it is a beautiful space. When in its heyday, Farley, you'll have to remind me of the numbers. How many people actually are in the offices there? And yeah, how many companies?
Yeah, 75 companies and, you know, around 400 people. And that we can take teams from obviously one person all the way up to 75-person teams. So quite a spread, and we can help folks along the journey from startup to scale up to unicorn, I guess would be the best way to say it. It's an old building. It was built in the mid 1800s as a wool warehouse, and the ballroom that everybody saw was actually the old auction hall where they used to auction off wool back in the day. So from wool to tech.
Look at that transformation. We actually had an event there on Monday, very COVID safe event, but it's still just a really special place. For those of you based in Melbourne or can make it to Melbourne, I do encourage you to come by, drop by, visit. It's a cool place. And where else can you get a pancake machine with a button? You don't see them outside of hotels very often. Great. I'm just going to check.
I will just encourage everyone to put some questions into the Q&A box, as we'd love to hear from you and answer those for you in a minute.
Maybe we'll talk.
Sorry, go Stephen. You go.
Maybe we'll just talk a little bit about Colin's point, and I'll direct it over to Sam on the employment law bots that we've been doing in like our workplace relationship team is heavily involved into Josef and building some of those bots in there as well.
They are, yeah, heaps have come out of the workplace team actually at Landers. I mean, I don't know which ones I can talk about, so I won't go into the details. But yeah, heaps of really cool applications. Lots of them as well, client facing. So building out bots that interface between the firm and the clients on employment law issues, various, so document production, but also legal advice and like helping with management of those issues, which has been really cool to see. Yeah, it's a sort of natural space, I think, for automation. That said, like bots built on Josef, including at Landers, cover off on like all sorts of areas of the law. So from finance to banking to environmental law to police complaints, etc.
And maybe I'll speak a little bit more generally about some of those workplace bots, right? So I think there's a few retailers that are looking for answers to some of the harassment issues, some of their workplace bullying issues, and they don't know where to go, and they might not feel that comfortable voicing that out to, I guess, an HR manager or just like someone else. They can go to some of the bots that we've created and with like alongside Josef to actually get some of those question and answers, what to do, what are the next steps to take, where can I go for more information. These are just very simple bots, and I think they didn't take a whole lot of time to develop, but add heaps and heaps of value to a workplace and help them navigate a bit of uncertainty, especially when you're under an environment that you don't feel comfortable in. And that's, I love the bridging of being able to have the bot bridging to that human factor. And with collaboration with like Sam did a lot of advice in making sure that we designed it in a user-friendly way with the right user interface to make sure that you don't scare anyone. But like I think that's a great example of tech put to good use.
Yeah. Totally. And also, I think the way that Landers uses it is super interesting as well. So it's not like, automate a document and chuck it on your website and charge money for it. I mean, that works really well for some firms. But I think the way that you use it as a part of the overall service or the overall relationship with the client is pretty sophisticated as well.
So we still don't have any questions to answer, but I thought we would talk about or just touch on the fact that we are in the recruitment phase for our next cohort. So if you're after more information around the LawTech Hub, please jump onto our website, which we'll put the link in the chat, and jump onto YBF's website to have a look and find more about the collaboration opportunities in the space that's available there. We're looking for startups across the whole range of legal tech, and we'd love to hear from you, so get in touch. We've had a question come through. What has Landers found as the benefits? And I'm assuming they mean the benefits from the LawTech Hub.
Sure, I'll take that one. So I guess we benefit greatly from the relationship we have with YBF in creating that LawTech Hub, not just with specific legal techs such as Josef to actually work alongside with, but it's really given us, I'd say, a step forward into, or a step with the identity that we are an innovative firm. And we don't just, I think there's a lot of awards out there. There's a lot of things that people self-decorate themselves as an innovative firm or innovative, place to work. But I think what that investment has done is to really put our money where our mouth is and invest in that legal tech community, and really, I guess, show that we can work with startups, we can work with scale-ups, and really change the way the market is facing, and pairing that as a differentiator for our clients, and offering something new, something different, something that they haven't heard of before. Hope that answers that question.
I think so. Yeah, that's good. And there's no more questions that have come through. So unless anyone has anything else to add, I think that's a wrap.
Thanks, Sarah and Stephen. That was a great session, and to Sam and Farley as well. I just wanted to remind everyone that we have recorded tonight's session, so you can revisit that on the on-demand program, and it will also be available via video on the ALTMA and CLI websites after the event is closed. And if you would like more information on ALTMA or CLI, please feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter.